Hello and welcome to Create the Flow. I'm Monica Freeman, host and founder of Monica Freeman Studios and Unewell. I am here to guide you in aligning with your soul's purpose, trusting your inner voice, and building a life that you truly love. You were born with a purpose, and your intuition already knows the way. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, I was thinking about how we try to control our narratives a lot. The pressure that we feel when things are not happening on our timeline and we're doing, in our minds, everything right, but it's still not working out. And how that can cause a little frustration, sometimes stress, anxiety, and just discomfort in general. And then I started thinking about what's the race? A lot of times we think that it's the destination that we want to get to because the destination means that we've achieved the goal. But have you ever been on a trip and when you got to the destination, and you enjoyed it, you were ready to get home. And then when you got home, you were already ready to plan your next trip. And it's just this cycle because we are constantly looking for whatever dopamine hit we can get, whatever's going to make us feel good. So it's really about trusting the process and embracing the present. I've been thinking about what that means internally, like what's happening with our bodies in order for us to feel like we are rushing, like we need to get to the finish line faster. So I think what's happening is when you try to control something, you're staying in the past. So even though you think you're moving toward the future, when you're gripping so hard on what you have and you're trying to control it, you are living in your old pattern, a pattern that operated from fear and a pattern that has been instilled deeply for so many years. It's the pattern that your body knows. And it's scary. It's really scary to trust the process and to know that everything's going to work out. When you are living in alignment, you already know that things are working out for you. And I really think when you embrace trusting the process and you surrender that the universe is going to take the lead and you're going to follow, that's when you actually collapse timelines and get to that future version of yourself. When we are really trying to force things to happen, when we're trying to push, when we are just stressing and causing ourselves so much dysregulation, not only are we not an energetic match for the thing that we want, so we're actually embodying what we do not want. It's not meant to flow effortlessly when you have to force. That's not how things work. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where they are trying to make somebody love them. Nobody wants to work for a company where they are constantly trying to get approval or validation for their hard work. When you're living like that, you're staying stuck in old patterns, as I just said. We all have a set of patterns, and they are just conditioning that we have to learn to decondition. But most people aren't even aware of their patterns because we think that it's just normal to feel stressed. We think it's normal for things to be dysregulated and things not to go our way for us to have to force. Because society tells us that if you work hard enough and if you do all these things, it'll just happen. But that's not necessarily true. It will happen when you're living in alignment, when you are truly living your soul's contract. And it took me a long time to realize surrendering to the universe and trusting that flow is the only way to build momentum. So today, if you feel like you are really forcing something where it's causing you a lot more stress than it is peace, and you are doubting yourself and you're getting frustrated and you feel stressed and maybe even anxious, there's just so much discomfort, I want you to do an audit an internal audit. And I want you to ask yourself a few questions. The first thing is, what's the rush? What is the rush? A lot of my clients are entrepreneurs, so their rush is to make money. And some of my clients want to meet their soulmate, and their rush is because they've been single for too long, or they want children, or they're lonely. These are not reasons to rush into something. None of these reasons. Because what happens when you rush into something is you rush out of it just as quickly. When you build a business from force, when you really force yourself to get to that next level, you might make it. And you might make a lot of money. And you might feel good for a few minutes because you achieved that goal that you set for yourself. But the onset of burnout is real, and it will come so fast. It will tumble in a way that you did not anticipate, because even though you might sustain it for a year, maybe 2, maybe even 3, nobody can work under the pressure of force forever. It is not sustainable. So when you're asking yourself these questions, really be honest with yourself about what is the rush. Because if you're rushing to build something too soon, it has a shelf life and it will break. And the next thing I want you to ask yourself is, what fears am I holding on to that are not mine anymore? What past limiting beliefs or patterns have you been storing and carrying with you that you are bringing into this, whatever this venture is that you're pursuing now, whatever the thing is you're trying to achieve? What is the old fear that you are carrying into this new venture or this new thing you want to do? Or it doesn't even have to be something new. It's just a shift. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life right now, what is a belief that you are carrying with you that is not yours? Because in order for you to actually surrender to the universe and allow the universe to lead you, you have to be clear about what part you're doing in holding yourself back. And that part is holding on to a limiting belief that is no longer yours. It's a fear, because if you tell me that you want to build sustainability, or you want to meet your dream mate, or you want to build your dream house, or whatever the situation is, then you know in your heart of hearts that these are not things that can happen overnight. They are things that take time. It's a slow build. It's one step in front of the other. You really have to build a solid foundation before you can build on top of that foundation. So in order to build a foundation that's not going to crack, that is going to stand the test of time, then you have to understand the fear that you're holding on to that could potentially crack that foundation. It may not happen today. Like I said, you might be 3 years into your business making all the money, and then out of nowhere, the wrong client comes along and things just hit the fan and it breaks and it takes your business down. You never know where it's going to come from, but you have to be intentional and mindful when you are thinking about allowing yourself to let go of control, because when we are trying to control things, we are doing things sometimes, like I said, without even realizing it, from the wrong place. We're doing things from limiting beliefs that are no longer ours. We're doing things from force instead of flow. We're doing things from desperate energy. So really get clear on those two things. Identify what your rush is. And then I want you to identify what the fear is. What is the fear for that rush? Why are we trying to force something? The more you allow the universe to step in and guide you, the more things are going to fall into place. And they don't always look logical. They also don't always look like the vision you had for yourself. Sometimes the universe is setting you up for something better that you didn't even know you wanted. But you can't see it if you are holding so tightly, like gripping so tightly on the way you want things to work out. We're not supposed to suffer. We're supposed to feel ease. We're actually supposed to feel in peace and harmony every single day. That's what high vibe energy is. It's learning how to live in alignment and reaching that point on the emotion scale where you can stay in that energy and sustain that. It's a daily, conscious effort because you have to show up and do the work. You have to listen to your body. When your body says, I do not want to do this today, you have to stop. And when your body is telling you, we are forcing a square peg into a round hole, you have to reevaluate. And when you're rushing to an invisible finish line, you have to ask yourself, what's the rush? Because if it's money, do you really want to rush to the finish line to make money that you're eventually going to lose because it's not sustainable? Wouldn't you find another way to make money and build something that is sustainable? We live in a society in a time where dopamine is so quick and it just passes through us. It's like somebody likes a photo on Instagram, so you get excited and then it's done. And then somebody texts you that you're into and you're excited and then it's done. It's just like these quick hits. But what if you could create a life where dopamine all day long was your reality? How epic would that be? I know for myself, that is the goal. That's peace. That is the utopia, right? I guess what I'm trying to get to here is that I want you to really think about why you don't trust yourself enough to surrender to the universe and allow the universe to guide you. When you start making choices that feel good, that your body actually wants, things start to fall into place. Allow yourself to be exactly where you are. When you create space to hear yourself, to flow in harmony with yourself, things just have a magical way of working out. And I guess that's called the universe having your back. It's a beautiful thing. So today, if I can really inspire you to allow yourself to let go of all the control that you've been holding on to make one decision today that feels good to you, whatever that looks like, whether that is to do something that you've never done before, or stop doing something that you've been trying too hard to do, or really lean into the truest version of yourself. So surrender to your future and allow the universe to guide you and trust that where you are going is gonna happen. But you have to make decisions daily that feel good to you, that genuinely make you feel excited. I love you so much, and I want to see nothing but success for you. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like more information, you can follow along on Instagram at Create the Flow Podcast or find me personally at Monica Freeman. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend.